sound check. Sound check.
Welcome everybody to Paul Ricard for round number 2 of the 2020 Euroformula Open here from France. Fantastic to have you along. A brilliant race it was yesterday. This race number 2 we are gearing up for. First though, we have to go and set the grid. This is going to be the second qualifying session of the weekend. Beautiful weekend it's been here in France. Been a great weekend to be here, I have to say, weather-wise, and perfect conditions to go out there and put some laps in. Drivers are just making their way out onto the circuit. The clock is ticking. 25-minute qualifying session as ever. 23 minutes and 46 seconds remaining on that. Well, if you missed the race yesterday, we had a great race. Lucas Dunner took his very first win in Euroformula Open, 4.6 seconds ahead of Yiffy Yi. Tower Racing Team unbeaten in the championship so far. Yiffy Yi took both wins at the Hungaroring, and Lucas Dunner put quite an emotional tweet out, actually a post out. It says he was just been working so hard for this over the last couple of years, and to go out, qualify on pole, take a lights to flag win, take everything else with it, fastest lap, was a result that he's really deserved for all the hard work he has put in over the last couple of years. And Lucas Dunner, who is also racing in the FIA F3 Championship this year, what this result is going to do for his confidence is going to help him so much going forward in his career. So he took the win. Yiffy Yi, second place. Andreas Essner on the podium now, 3 races in a row in this season. He finished in 3rd place. Ido Cohen matched his best result from the Hungaroring to finish in 4th. And Nicholas Cruton, a brilliant result for him, his best result ever in Euroformula Open. He did do a couple of races last year. First round had a fairly decent start, got 8th and 10th, but that his best ever result in the championship, and a rookie win for him as well. Ayrton Simmers finished in 6th place, an improvement on his 7th places from the Hungaroring. Manuel Maldonado was 7th. Rui Andrade was in 8th place, that his best result of the season. A good performance from him. Glenn Van Berlo was in 9th place. It's where he's finished in all 3 races so far this season. Cameron Daz would have been slightly disappointed with 10th. The American will be looking to continue today. Shihab Al-Habsi was 11th. Alexandra Bardignon on home soil 12th. And Sebastian Essner was in 13th place. And the driver who's going to be most disappointed of them all will be Zane Maloney, because he did not start the race yesterday after qualifying 5th on the grid. And one person that might know the story behind that is the person who is always in the commentary box for Euroformula Open, Elliot Wood. Elliot, good morning. Could you tell us what happened to Zane Maloney yesterday? Do you know the story yet?
I know part of the story. The official line at the moment is an unspecified technical issue, and that's pretty much as far as I can say. But it was a great shame that he wasn't able to start the race, because he'd looked brilliant in free practice, and he'd looked very good in qualifying. And the Carlin car driven by Ido Cohen showed that it certainly had the race pace as well.
Yeah, it was very good. Well, that's dropped Zane to 5th in the standings. Yiffy Yi leads from Andreas Essner. He has 21 points. Lead over him, then it's Cohen in 3rd, Dunner 4th, Maloney 5th place. It's too early to pay too much attention into that. We've got plenty more rounds after this. We go to Red Bull Ring, Monza, Mugello, Spa, Catalunya, and then we end the season at Jarama. But this is the second stop on what is a very compact and congested 2020 season. That is your race winner from yesterday, Lucas Dunner. I want to talk to you about this as well, Elliot. I saw him put a post out on Instagram, quite a long post, thanking all the team and all the people that have helped him to get to the point. You even said yesterday that's probably the best performance you've ever seen him do in a single-seater race. I think he almost reflected that with the post he put out on social media. Did you get a chance to speak to him after the race yesterday?
Yeah, I did, and we talked mostly about tyres, because if anyone watched the race yesterday, a lot of the commentary talk in this box was about, we were expecting the tyres to drop off at maybe lap 9, lap 10. And it went on, and the pace was getting higher. So I had to clarify that with Lucas and go like, were you expecting that? He said he wasn't. They were really expecting the tyres to drop off at around 10 and around lap 10, and it was a 16-lap race. But that also helps, because he then had a very balanced car. And once you know what to do with that car, you can then just keep on putting the lap times in, and it makes the driver's job a lot easier. especially when you have a fast teammate behind you in case you forget. So yeah, Lucas did a great job of race management yesterday, which has been a bit of a weakness in the past. And I'm sure he can take pole and win again. But obviously he has a very fast teammate. Van Amersfoort Racing's looking quicker than it was yesterday. And we've also got Carlin back as well. So it's going to be very competitive for pole.
It is indeed. Lucas Dunner, as we said, first win for him. We're, of course, just seeing the cars getting warmed up at the moment. 2 laps completed for them. You're going to have Zane Maloney trying to fight back. Who else impressed you? I think Nicholas Cruton, that was for Team Motorpole, that was a really good drive from him to take rookie win. His best result in the championship. 5th place, that was a real good result from the rookie.
Yeah, it was another example of the tyres lasting more than we expected, because Cruton spent pretty much every lap defending from Ayrton Simmons, and Ayrton Simmons spent pretty much every lap trying to attack Nicholas Cruton in his Double R racing car. And the fact that both of them could keep on that battle for the whole of the race was testimony to the Michelin tyres lasting the duration.
I want to speak about this man here, the number 15, Sebastian Essner. What's going on with Sebastian this weekend? Because he had so much pace at the first round, took a podium in the first race of the season, qualified in the top 3 both times, and he's just not looked the same this weekend. He's down in 13th in yesterday's race. He was the last of the drivers on track to finish. Do you know the story behind this?
The basis of the poor results for Alexandre Bardignon and Sebastian Essner was basically really bad first laps. Both of them lost several places from their starting spots, and from then on it's pretty difficult to recover. Van Amersfoort Racing hasn't looked as competitive as it was at the Hungaroring, but you know, different circuits suit different teams and different drivers. And actually Bardignon himself said his previous time at Paul Ricard wasn't exactly a brilliant experience, even though he's the local hero here, being French, so he doesn't know the circuit incredibly well.
But Andreas Essner was 3rd for Van Amersfoort, and he was 7 seconds behind Yuffie at round 1. He was 10 seconds behind here, so he wasn't actually that much further behind, considering he was having to defend from Ido Cohen. So is that just an outstanding drive from Andreas Essner, or?
Potentially, especially at Hungaroring, the VAR cars did look quicker on qualifying pace and race pace, and the drivers kind of reflected that when I spoke to them. So potentially it just was a case of Andreas Essner was very quick in qualifying, and also he's the most experienced pretty much of all the drivers on this grid. Lucas Dunner's just set fastest lap 1 minute 54.006. Pole lap yesterday was in the 1 minute 53s, which is a lap record here. I was looking through Formula 3 and kind of junior single-seater lap times at this circuit over the last few decades. And I do believe that is one of the motor
Is that Nicholas?
I think it might be Rui Andrade.
He's got
the yellow stripes with the Angolan flag on his Crypto Tower Racing Team car. So I think we did actually see the lap record and the track record yesterday, because in 2010 Danny Juncadella did set 1 minute 52 on a track length which is identical to this one.
Right.
But they didn't have the chicane down the Minstrel Straight.
Well, that's...
So I'm trying to figure out where the extra length came in that made it match up to the current layout.
Well, it was a 153.633 from Lucas Dunner. Yuffie was 2 thousandths behind him, 153.635. And no surprise to see Lucas Dunner at the front. So these are respectable lap times we're now seeing come in. 154 flat for Dunner. Almost, as this is Andreas Essner heading up to the start-finish line. Let's see what he can do on this lap. He was quicker than anyone through the second sector, and he does a 153.8, so that's only 2/10 off the quickest time we saw yesterday, and that is a good lap from Andreas Essner. Andreas Essner, who did a 154.086 yesterday, so he's already 2/10 quicker than his own personal best. Lucas Dunner comes up to the line, 153.7, so he goes even quicker, only a 1/10 off the pole time he set yesterday. They're really starting to gear up now. Ayrton Simmons doing a great job in 3rd place. He's done a 154.4, and Ayrton Simmons, that's 3/10 quicker than what he did yesterday.
Yeah, I think the track is more rubbered in. Obviously, other sessions put down spare rubber on the track, and it takes around 2 or 3 laps to kind of sweep that away. And obviously, these drivers have been on track now for kind of 2 flying laps, so we've probably got the track clean. There's not too much traffic here as well. We obviously have 14 cars entered for this qualifying session, so around about now is the time where we're going to see the reality of how quick these cars can go around Paul Ricard, because obviously this is the very first time that Dallara 320 has been here.
Indeed it has, and Lucas Dunner half a 10th up on his best time. through the first sector. Let's see what he can do through sector 2. As they make their way now through turn number 10. Lucas just a bit slower through the second sector. Andreas Essner is second, Yiffy third, Simmons fourth, Maloney fifth, although they swap round now. Maloney goes to fourth and is the lead rookie. He's done a 154.3.
And Simmons has returned to the pits now, so he's not going to go for another flying lap. Currently watching Lucas Dunner. Yiffy also improving. Dunner's actually gone fastest, only very slightly in the very first sector above Yiffy. We're going to see him come through the final corners now. I think this will be another fastest lap, possibly in the 1 minute 53.6s. Andreas Essner's returned to the pits as well. Dunner's pitting as well.
Yeah.
Interesting choice.
Well, this is when they all start. This is the half time, isn't it? And they all come in for a drinks break, if you like, and to cool down and go back out again and set some more flyers. So Yiffy now makes his way round turn at number 12. Personal best. Wouldn't be enough for him to go quickest of anyone, I don't think, as now he comes round turn at number 12. Looking good so far, this. He could challenge here for front row, potentially even a pole position. Let's see as he comes out of the final corner, makes his way down the start-finish straight. Maloney is out there somewhere as well. Up to the line he comes. Is he going to go any quicker? Let's have a look as he crosses the line. 153.818. So he's on the front row, and once again challenging his teammate. 52 thousandths behind his teammate now. This is Zane Maloney, and let's see what he's on for. Sector time's not up, which might mean he's getting ready for a fly, but Zane Maloney, let's have a look at his sector times. Not going quicker, so this is either him going to be gearing up for a flying lap or he's going to be on his way back into pit lane, and indeed it's the latter as he comes into pit lane. That's pretty much everyone into the pits now, and this is the half time of qualifying, and then they'll get ready to go out and do it all over again.
Yeah, the gap between our top two, Lucas Dunner and Yiffy is 26 times larger than it was yesterday, as in it was 0.002 seconds yesterday, and now it's 0.052. So very small gap between the pair. Yiffy did used to race at this circuit in French Formula 4.
He did.
He did
yeah.
2 seasons in that. First season was his first year racing cars in Europe. Definitely a confidence building year. Then second season, I think he took 13 wins or 14 wins. Incredibly dominant performance, and it did set him up very well for when he went up into Formula Renault as well.
Yes, he did. He won that. He did 14 wins in those 23 races. Absolutely dominated the series in 2016. So Yiffy, as you said, this would have been one of the tracks he looked at and gone, yeah, I think that one is one I can go and get some wins at. But so far, Lucas Dunner is spoiling that party for him. Nevertheless, podiums still good. Been on the podium. Him and Andreas Essner, the only two to be on the podium every race so far this season, and he's now coming back into the pit lane. That means everyone is in, although Simmons and Bardignon are just about to head back out. Now here's a look at your race winner from yesterday, Lucas Dunner, getting himself ready for the next session.
And you can see Lucas Dunner.
Schon schnell, ja?
Timo Rumpf again.
Auto. Auf der Innenlap war erster Sektor noch mal schneller. Ja, also da muss.
Well, some people would have understood that, but I don't think either of us would have. This is Rui Andrade.
Best way to understand Timo is if he's looking slightly unhappy or very unhappy.
Right.
And then you can tell if a driver's done well or not.
This is Rui Andrade, who is just getting some feedback from the team before he goes out. Rui Andrade, good performance from him yesterday. So that was his best result of the season. 8th place, first time he was in the top 10. Considering that he didn't have his best day when he spun race 2 last time out, I think he's going in the right direction.
Yeah, he kept it clean yesterday. He is improving a lot, given his inexperience in motorsport in general prior to a few years ago. He's one of the bullet sport athletes that we have here at Paul Ricard this weekend. Seeing Yiffy work on his car right now. Timo's come over with the onboards to show him as well. And Cameron Dass, another FIA Formula 3 driver who's dabbling in both series at once. He's done Euroformula for 3 years. He started midway through 2017. He hasn't had much testing in this car at all, the new Dallara 320, due to his commitments elsewhere and the coronavirus pandemic. So this is pretty much his first weekend in the car, and he's doing a good job of it. From what Timo Räikkönen has told me, he needs this kind of like stability of being in the car as much as possible, whereas other drivers who can very much just jump in anything and make the most of it. But you need to have Cameron doing the whole season at once, basically, to get the most out of it. So it's good that he has started his Euroformula campaign, and we've obviously got more rounds coming up in the next few weeks, including Red Bull Ring, Spa-Francorchamps, Barcelona, Jarama, Monza, Mugello.
Yeah, it's a pretty good calendar. But Cameron does. Some people would have been surprised in a bad way with the result yesterday, but as you said, he's still getting used to things, isn't he? And he's American, so it's been a bit of a tough few months for him travel-wise, isn't it?
He had, for that whole of the last race, he had 2 DriveX cars behind him, and because they stayed in his slipstream, he couldn't really do much to escape them, because as soon as he'd kind of covered off one, the other one would come along, pull along Shahab Al-Habsi and Glenn Van Berlo, so that took a lot of his race doing that. Ayrton Simmons is being slipstreamed by, looks like Alexandre Bardignon. Is he slowing down?
Well, this, I've seen this in karting so many times. This is when you go ahead, no, you stay there. You go ahead, please. And that was okay. You're going to stay behind. Well, fair enough. And that's it. Simmons just getting his foot down.
Yeah, and drivers aren't allowed to weave to warm up their tyres, so he is going to want to go quite fast on his warm-up lap without going too fast. Obviously, what we were told prior to the weekend has changed very much based on what we saw in the race yesterday.
That's quite common, though, isn't it? Sometimes you can come into a weekend with a certain approach or a certain thought process, but you just have to adapt with the track and what the track does. It's how its characteristics change and what it gives to you.
Yeah, what you really want is consistent level of grip. That's where you're going to get the best, especially data, to change your setup going into the race, and it's going to make driving a lot easier as well, because you know what each corner is going to provide you with in grip and where on the track's best to go in each lap. If you know it's changing each lap, then that's a lot harder for a driver. A bit like when there's wet weather and then comes dry again, but it's purely just how the asphalt is changing.
The drivers are getting those tyres up to temperature now. Here we can see the number 25 of Alexandre Bardignon. Home race for him. I think it's come at the wrong time for him, though. He's not got a huge amount of experience as Alexandre Bardignon, so he's going to be someone that would be more focused on progressing and then challenging maybe at some of the latter rounds. So for him, it would have been perfect if this was the last round of the season, but you can't choose the calendar, so you just got to go with it. Behind that was the number 28 of Cameron Daz, third in this queue, so it's Simmons, Bardignon and Daz in that order as they fly through turn 10. And everyone is out there now, so all drivers are back out onto the circuit. And with just over 6 minutes to go, we're about to find out who's going to start from pole position. Judging off what the times are, you'd say it's a three-way fight between Dana, Yi and Andreas Essner. And Andreas Essner has really closed the gap. He was 4/10 off pole yesterday, and now he's only just over a tenth. So, as you said, Van Amersfoort have found place overnight. Here is the RR racing car of Ayrton Simmons coming out of the final corner and heading up to the line to start what would probably be one of his attempts at a personal best lap now as he makes his way across the line. Oh, and there is a personal best, in fact. I didn't think he was going any quicker on that lap, but he found pace through the final sector. So
Cameron Dass improves as well to 7th place, both set personal best. It doesn't look like drivers are setting their best sectors, but it's combined, it's turning into a better lap.
Yeah, well, there you go, caught us out. Ayrton Simmons goes quicker, he goes up to 5th. Again, he's looking to just try and improve on those results. He finished in 8th place, he finished 8th in qualifying, finished 6th yesterday after 2 7ths at the first round. Through turn 7, he comes onto the back straight, and that was a mistake in the background.
Yeah, I think that might have been Bardignon.
Yeah. So running wide, we've seen that, and we've actually seen that in the Formula Regional Championship as well. Drivers running wide out of turn 6 and getting caught out, because it was in that race yesterday. We saw 2 of the leaders do exactly the same thing and go wide out of 6. So that is a corner that is really catching drivers out.
Yeah, I think it's possibly to do with setup choice with because in Formula Regional, the differential, you're allowed to tweak that, and the anti-roll bar as well. And you got the turn 5, 6, 7 sweep where you're changing direction very quickly. But there's also a lot of marbles offline. So if your car's not leaning in as much as you'd like it to, it just skates off into the expansive Paul Ricard runoff.
It's one of those, you can't, once you've committed to turn 6, that's it. You know, if you back out of it, you're going to lose so much time. So you've just got to go with it and almost close your eyes and hope that you'll be okay on the exit. Ayrton Simmons is up. Cameron Daz is up, the number 28, and that is the car we are looking at on screen. The American Cameron Daz looking to fight back from a difficult result yesterday. 10th place for him. Let's see if he can go quicker this time. Round the final couple of corners he comes. Oh, and getting out of shape there. The American just getting a little bit too loose through 14. That's going to hurt him coming down the start-finish straight. Cameron Daz up to the line. Ayrton Simmons is ahead of him. He's not been able to go quicker. Is Cameron Daz been able to go quicker? 154.8, so no.
And Zane Maloney has just set the very fastest first sector time of 31.212.
And conveniently enough, there he is on screen. So Zane Maloney, he really does need a good result.
And we see him going through the Mistral chicane there. We don't have the huge F1 curbs here, but we have these little, like, I call them motorway bollards because I've seen them around France, where they're about half a foot tall. And I think they kind of bounce down, but we saw in another race yesterday, someone lost their front wing by clattering over them. So that's why when you commit to these corners, there's not much room for error if you then go wide, unless you just take the full runoff option.
Zane Maloney doing good. Personal best sector 1 and 2. And the final few corners he comes. He's going to be more determined than ever. Zane Maloney is one of those people who only really wants wins. Remember in the first round, he took 3rd in race 2 and looked disappointed as he comes now up to the final corner to the right. Let's see if he's able to improve. Zane Maloney, currently his best time, a 154.3. Up to the line he comes. Is he going to be able to go quicker than that? He crosses the line now. And Zane Maloney a 153.8, so an improvement for him and a huge improvement as well. And he's now in the battle for pole position, just 69,000 back from Lucas Dunner. That is a really, really good time from Zane Maloney, and perhaps one of the closest he's been to challenging for pole position this season.
And it's very telling that the two Crypto Tower Racing drivers aren't actually improving up front. While Niklas Krütten in 7th place, he's just bettered Zane Maloney's sector 1 time by half a tenth of a second, which is quite a substantial gap in that first sector lap. So good job there. We're seeing the number 16
Andreas.
Andreas Essner there, who's all alone on track, so he won't benefit from a tow here.
But at the same time, he won't be delayed, will he, from any mistakes ahead? So Andreas Essner clearly wants to be all on his own out there. He goes through short. What's he doing? At the moment, he is 4th, and he's had a personal best first sector. Now, this is Niklas Krütten, who you were talking about, quickest of anyone through the first sector. So let's stay with Niklas Krütten until the end of the lap, hopefully, and see what he's able to do. 7th place. Currently, that's where he qualified yesterday. He finished 5th yesterday to take a rookie win and his best result so far of the season. Niklas Krütten going along really well so far.
But we need to watch Crypto Tower Racing drivers as well, because they kind of backed off on the previous lap, and now Yiffier and Lucas Dunn have just set the very best first sectors of anyone in this session. I think of the whole weekend as well.
So, yeah, you see it come up clearly. It was a planned strategy, wasn't it? Niklas Krütten, the purple sector from his times there disappears and goes to green. So personal best. Where's this going to put Niklas Krütten? 154.6 is his personal best time so far. He comes up to the line. Where time's it going to be? 154.2, so it is an improvement, and it puts him to where he finished yesterday in 5th place.
And Yiffier's improved again in the middle sector. Dunner hasn't, so I think they might be working together. And although we can't see it quite on screen. Zane Maloney's just gone top, 1 minute 53.7. He's now 0.066 seconds ahead of Lucas Dunner. Dunner hasn't improved in the middle sector. Yeah, he's still improving. He's coming through the final corners now. This should be a very quick lap.
Yeah, through to the final corner. So Zane Maloney is pole for now, but is he about to lose that pole position? Because Yiffier, purple sector. Surely this could be the quickest time we've ever seen around here as he comes up to the line. 153.348. An absolutely outstanding time for Yiffier. Lucas Dunner in the background is about to set another lap as well, and it's a 153.4 for Lucas Dunner. Those are the best times we have seen in this championship around here. Fantastic stuff from Yi and Dunner.
So Dunner lost time in the middle sector, but then just set an absolutely incredible final sector lap. Yiffier was taking a few bites of steering wheel out the final corner, so I didn't think he was actually going to improve there. But Dunner must have been super clean through there, because 47.053, I think that's a tenth faster than anyone's gone through that sector.
And they're going even quicker this time as well. Yuffie did do the fastest first sector. It's just been stolen from him by Lucas Dunner. So Zane Maloney, all he can do, we look at him now on screen, all he can do is close the gap. I don't think these times are going to be good enough to beat them. However, he is up, so let's see, going the quickest he has so far on this lap through the first two sectors. Yi and Dunner, though, look at those times. They're 2/10 quicker. Zane Maloney, 1.5 tenths up now, 300ths up, so he's on to get fairly close as he comes round the final two corners. Into the final corner, the driver from Barbados, after not starting the race yesterday, this is exactly what he needs. The flag is flying, Esner's crossed it, and so's Cruton, so's Tadaz, so's Al Habsi, so's Bardignon. Maloney up to the line. What is he going to do? 1:53.490. What a time that from Zane Maloney. But I think we could be into the 1:52s potentially here with Yuffie and Lucas Dunner. Lucas Dunner is on your screen. Yuffie, the car ahead of him as they come up to the final two corners now. We are looking at the number 69, yesterday's race winner after his first race win in the championship. Can Lucas Dunner now go and take another pole position ahead of him? Yuffie goes across the line. What's he able to do as he crosses the line? Is he able to go quicker? Let's have a look as they're coming up to the line. 1:53.2 for Yuffie and Lucas Dunner a 1:53.3, so they do go quicker. And Yuffie on picture there, the Chinese driver, is pole position once again, the third time he has been pole this season. Yuffie fighting back on his teammate there. He wants to go and make it 3 victories for the season. Dunner, well, his attempts to take a double have just been made a little bit more difficult. Second place, Zane Maloney third, but all 3 of those drivers completely outstanding times. Yuffie 1:53.2, Lucas Dunner 1:53.3, and Zane Maloney 1:53.4. Yesterday's pole time was a 1:53.6. Just to give you an idea, so we found 4/10 overnight. Some of that might be to do with the track, but I think some of it as well, the drivers just getting even quicker, the teams likewise. Andreas Esner fourth, 1:53.8. Then it's Manuel Maldonado. He'll be very happy with that 5th place. Ido Cohen, 6th place for him after his 3rd place in qualifying yesterday. Nicholas Cruton, 2nd of the rookies and 7th. Ayrton Simmons 8th. Cameron Diaz 9th. Rui Andrade in 10th place. And then outside of the top 10, Shihab Al Habsi, Glenn Van Berlo, Sebastian Esner continues with his struggles, likewise Alexandre Bardignon. Elliot, how good are those times? Explain to us.
I think they're very good. I was hoping we'd get into 1:52s. Perhaps that was a little unrealistic.
So was I.
In such an early point in the development curve of this Dallara 320 car. Because in reality, teams have had one official pre-season test day at Hockenheim, which is a completely different track to this. Quite a few private tests at circuits that are also not very similar to Paul Ricard. And the Hungaroring, of course, very different circuit, and that was the very first race weekend. So yeah, very good times. I think I'm almost excited to come back next year now to see how far we can go into the 1:52s.
Well, top 3, Zane Maloney, this 2nd place. We won yesterday, 2nd place, Lucas Dunner on the front row. He's got a good chance to make it a double, but he's going to go for 3 wins this season. Yuffie 1:53.263, the quickest time we have seen here all weekend. Absolutely fantastic performance from Yuffie. And he makes his way now back into the pit lane. I'm sure very shortly we are going to hear from him. Looking outside of the top 3, because that's been our conversation pretty much now for the last, I don't know, 5 minutes. Looking back, any other names there that jump out to you as, you know, really impressive performances? I mean, to me, Manuel Maldonado, that's a highly impressive performance from him, I think, 5th place. Yeah,
very quick, and I think he was very quick in qualifying as well yesterday. Obviously, Duarte Felix Costa, his driver coach, was the man who kind of informed us of these tyre expectations, so maybe we shouldn't listen to him as often, but Maldonado is clearly quick. Ido Cohen showing as well that Carlin does have a very quick car qualifying pace, and now they've sorted out their race pace problems. I'm sure both of those drivers can do very well. Cruton, Cruton didn't improve on his final lap, and he ended up a 2nd adrift, so I think he could have at least got maybe 2 or 3 more attempts out of that. He's in 7th place. Ayrton Simmons 8th. Also pretty much identical time to Nicholas Cruton, and he's got a very difficult job in that he's the only car at Double R Racing, you know. Yeah. He doesn't have any setup comparisons to make. And once again, Shihab Al Habsi and Glenn Van Berlo, the 2 drive school cars, in 11th and 12th. doesn't look like they came round and completed a flying lap at the very end when the track was at its fastest. But both of them have also looked quick. And Rui Andrade, 10th again, did spin at the beginning of session, so hurt his tyres, but clearly had the life in them to still set a very quick lap.
And then this battle for the last of the top 3 in the rookies, Shihab Al-Habsi, Glenn Van Berlo and Sebastian Essen, that's going to be a good one to watch. They were only split by 2/10. And Bardignon as well, 14th for him, but the pace not far off. Unfortunately, it's once again 14th, but he seems to be fairly good at moving forward. And an improvement from Shihab Al-Habsi. He was 13th in qualifying yesterday, so he's found a bit of pace overnight and qualifies where he finished yesterday. But hopefully we're going to hear from Yiffy Yi soon. We are just getting ready to hear from him now as he's come back into the pit lane. Congratulations from his teammate as well, which was great to see. But to recap your top 3 then, finishing in 3rd place, Zane Maloney, the top of the rookies, didn't start the race yesterday, so could come back with a podium. The man who couldn't be beaten yesterday was Lucas Dunner. He finishes in 2nd today. A brilliant performance, a brilliant time, but not as good as this man, his teammate, Yiffy Yi. For the 3rd time this season, he will lead us away from pole position. Let's go and hear from him now.
Yiffy, you took pole in the very closing minutes. You retrieved the pole. It's the 3rd one in two weekends. How will you face race 2?
I think the gap between me and Lucas is pretty close the whole weekend, so it was about who can deliver that lap at the end. Yesterday I missed it slightly in the qualifying, and today we made it. So the race has proved that it's really hard to overtake, and the tires have seemed to be pretty consistent throughout the race. So I think the overtaking will be very hard in the race. So my goal would be to make a good start and try to get away from the line. And as we can see, the wind is picking up this afternoon, so it will be a hard race. Hopefully we can manage it properly.
We'll watch with attention. It's going to be a very nice duel. Thank you. Well done for now.
It is indeed. Race number 2 will be live from 5:10 local time here in France.